From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo. European trade ministers are meeting in Brussels today following U.S. President Donald Trump's surprise announcement of 30% tariffs on the European Union. The EU is America's biggest business partner and the world's largest trading bloc. The tariffs, also imposed on Mexico, are set to start August 1st. Prime Minister Mark Carney is expected to meet with his cabinet tomorrow to discuss the latest American threat to impose 35% tariffs on Canadian goods by August 1st. The Prime Minister's office says Carney will speak with his inner circle about the ongoing trade negotiations with our southern neighbor. Quebec Provincial Police and the RCMP are still looking for a group of migrants who were inside a vehicle that crashed near the Canada-U.S. border.
Provincial police say an SUV collided with a vehicle carrying at least 10 people in a southern Quebec village just north of the New York border. The driver of the SUV has been arrested for impaired driving. Police allege the people in the second vehicle are believed to be migrants who crossed the border from the United States without proper documentation. 4 people from that vehicle have been taken to hospital. Between 6 and 8 others fled the scene on foot. Brenda Molina Navidad, The Canadian Press.
If you found yourself gaining more than a little weight during the COVID-19 pandemic, beyond the COVID-15 pounds, you certainly weren't alone. A report published in the Canadian Medical Association Journal says obesity rates in Canada increased faster between 2020 and 23 than over the course of the 11 years beforehand. And there was a steep increase in COVID-era obesity rates among young adults, especially women. Dr. Melanie Henderson with the CHU St. Justine had no link with the McMaster University-led study, but she did have some thoughts about the culprits. She says the closure of gyms, workplaces, schools, and extracurricular programs led to an absence of structure for many people, added all kinds of extra screen time, and put us in closer proximity to the fridge. And after years of experimentation with hybrid work, an increasing number of companies are whittling down the number of work-from-home days to 1 per week, or none at all. Big banks, including RBC and Scotiabank, have mandated at least 4 days in office starting in September, while Canaccord Genuity is reportedly moving to 5. Alex Galacker is managing director of Engage HR.
I think what's really driving it is culture. I think it's this desire to have a culture that is, more cohesive and then effectively supports what the business is trying to do strategically.
But he notes smaller firms are still leaning on remote work options to attract talented and highly qualified employees. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, with the exception of baseball all-stars Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Alejandro Kirk, the Toronto Blue Jays are off until Friday. That's when they'll return to action after the all-star break. They'll host the San Francisco Giants and the New York Yankees in a pair of 3-game series. The Jays lead the AL East Division by 2 games over the Yankees and 3 over the Boston Red Sox. Now tonight, it's home run derby time. 8 power hitters, dozens of homers, and 1 champion will be crowned tonight at Truist Park in Atlanta. American Chris Gotterup gets to spend an extra week on links golf after winning the biggest title of his career yesterday. Gotterup held his nerve against Rory McIlroy to shoot a 66 and win the Scottish Open by 2 shots. The victory gives the American one of 3 spots in next week's British Open. Gotterup had a flight booked to California for the next stop, but now it's a short hop over the Irish Sea to play in his first British Open. From the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.